Before I start today's episode, I just want to say shout out to Killer Cam Newton for signing a 1-year deal to the New England Patriots. I'm happy for you because, man, you deserve to be in the league. I didn't care where you signed. It doesn't matter where you went. As long as you went to a team where you're going to start and show everybody that you still got it, I'm cool, man, for real. Because Cam Newton still got a lot of game left, and he's better than a lot of these quarterbacks that just got paid $31 million. How you doing? My name is Christopher Brown. You now listen to my podcast, Sports Talk with Chris, and this is episode 8, NFL Contenders. Okay, so how many teams do you truly think are NFL Super Bowl contenders this year? 10? 5? 3? I think there are about 6 true contenders this year that actually have what it takes to win the Super Bowl. Now, there are really good teams I feel like going to have really good seasons and probably make it to the playoffs, but I don't think they have what it takes to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm just keeping it a buck. An obvious team on this list is none other than the Baltimore Ravens, alright? Now, the Ravens are a contender, but they're probably a favorite to win the entire thing. It's crazy to say that the best team last year is going to return with an even better team this year. Now, the biggest hole they had on defense was their defensive linemen. So what did they do? They went out and signed 2 dominant ones in Calais Campbell and Derek Wolfe. Not only would them two help their running defense, but they also helped them when it comes to sacks, as the Ravens were the bottom half in the league in total sacks with only 37. So you pair 2 dominant defensive linemen with the best D-back core in the league, and what do you get? One of the best defense in the league. Probably top 5. Definitely top 5, not even probably top 3. They're for sure going to be top 5. And when it comes to the offensive side, they're still returning with the best running attack in the league. Mark Ingram and Lamar Jackson, it's like having 2 running backs back there. Now, when it comes to their running game, I have a question mark when it comes to their interior lineman play, their interior offensive line play, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem. Now, when it comes to their passing offense, Lamar Jackson is still going to do his thing, but I have a question mark, and I still have a question mark, and I think they need to address this problem. I feel like they need a big body receiver out there. Yeah, they have 2 dominant tight ends to carve up the inside of the field, but I feel like you need somebody on the outside that can go up and go get it. One-on-one coverage on the outside. Yeah, they got people for the inside, but on the outside, I think that's the issue that they need to address. Lamar Jackson is going to return to his MVP form. He's probably going to get MVP this year, because look, last year was his first full year starting, and look what he did in his first full year starting. So you're telling me he's returning this year. He already won MVP. He's returning this year more hungry because he'd rather have a Super Bowl. And with more experience, come on now. He might lead, it's crazy to say this, but he actually might lead them to a 16-0 record this year. I mean, if they went 14-2 last year, imagine what's going to happen when he comes back with more experience. Because some of them games they lost last year, I feel like experience would have played a big factor in that. I feel like a dominant defensive line would have played a huge factor in that. When they lost to the Chiefs, they need somebody to go get at Patrick Mahomes. They need somebody to go get a sack. When they lost to the Browns, they need somebody to stop the running game. They addressed those problems entirely. They're coming back even better and more hungry. It's scary. If your team, if your favorite team is going against the Ravens this year, consider that an L. Sticking to the AFC, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, they're going to be a contender. I mean, they're returning Super Bowl champions. They got quality players in the draft, so as long as they keep their roster intact from last year, they're going to be in the mix. One thing they do need to address, though, is their cornerback situation. On the defensive side, they have good above average defensive linemen that can get to the ball, get to the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? They have average linebackers, but their cornerbacks are by far the worst part of their defense. When I have Tyrann Mathieu, who's a safety, who's a dual-dog guy, but you still need cornerbacks. Their defense, yeah, is going to be average, but in order to them to be dominant, they need to add some corners. On the offensive side, they got Patrick Mahomes. I can honestly end it right there. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a freak. Talent-wise, one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. It's between him and Lamar Jackson right now, who's the best quarterback in the league. But on the offensive side, you already got weapons on the receivers. Tyreek Hill, Watkins, Robinson, all them speedsters. Then in the draft, they got a running back that's going to help them catching out the backfield, and he also can help them in the run game. And just because they drafted a running back that high doesn't mean they're forced to call more running plays. It just gives them a better chance to. They're more comfortable doing that. Now that you have 2 running backs, I feel like every team, let me say this, I feel like every team should have more than 1 running back. You need a running back that you're comfortable giving the ball to in certain situations, like less than 2 minutes, you're about 4, you need to run the ball to save clock. But you also need a flex guy, a quote-unquote dual-dog guy that is really good at catching a ball at the backfield. And And I feel like that's what they running back from LSU that they just drafted. That's what he gives them the ability to do. Okay, now to the NFC. An obvious contender coming out the NFC is the 49ers. Now, I know a lot of people were tripping when they traded away DeForest Buckner, but let me tell you, the D-line they drafted and Javon Kinlaw is going to be a problem. From South Carolina, he'll give them the same type production, if not better. The rest of the defense is still disgusting. I'm talking about on every level, bro. They are hitters on every level. They're not missing. They're not lacking in no category. Defensive line is crazy. Even if they didn't draft Javon Kinlaw, their defensive line was still going to be arguably the best defensive line in the league. Linebackers, playmakers everywhere. They D-backs, you know what I'm saying? The D-backs is probably the worst part of their defense, but it's not like they lacking. It's not like they're one of the worst in the league. They still one of the best top 10 in the league, you feel me? So it's like their defense. Them and the Ravens, I think, going to be 1-2 when it comes to defense. Because the 49ers defense have hitters and playmakers on every level of the field. Now, the offense truly didn't take a hit this offseason. Yeah, they lost Emmanuel Sanders, but they drafted an athletic freak at wide receiver. So you're going to give Jimmy G another weapon. Their best lineman retired, but then they signed Trent Williams. So they had a problem, then they solved it by getting somebody that's hungry. Trent Williams is going to dominate. I'm sorry. Trent Williams is going to dominate. He's going to help solidify their running game. Now, as long as Jimmy G is not trying to do nothing that he can't do, try to do the extra stuff, and just be a game manager and help them win games, then they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. But if Jimmy G try to do anything extra, then I'm worried about them. You know what I'm saying? Just rely on that running game. Rely on George Kittle, top 3 tight end in the league. Rely on Debo. Debo turned up last year. Rely on Debo. Rely on your playmakers. Don't try to force anything, because that's not your game, Jimmy G. Don't force anything. Rely on your playmakers to help make plays. Let your defense dominate, and they're going to be an obvious contender. Okay, coming out the NFC South is the Saints. But I'm tired of saying the Saints, because I feel like I've been saying the Saints for years as being a contender, but they don't do anything. They haven't made it to the Super Bowl. When it comes to the playoffs, man, I feel like they always folding. They do great in the regular season. They show you how dominant their team could be. When I say dominant, I mean these past couple Saints team. Like, I'm like, yo, how did you not make it to the Super Bowl? Because they got playmakers across the field on offense and defense. Wide receivers, running backs, nasty. When you go to the defensive line, nasty. Cornerbacks, D-backs making plays. So it's like, how y'all not making it to the Super Bowl? But with this being Drew Brees being old, you know what I'm saying, his career coming to an end, this might be the last year for him to get a ring. They are still a talented team. They have what it takes to make it to the Super Bowl. So they're going to be a contender. But as long as they do what they need to do to win, and when they go into the playoffs, as long as they do not fold, which I feel like they do every year, they should be fine. Like, I'm not going to discredit their team just because they fold all the time. Like, they still dominant. They still have one of the best teams in the league. It's just a matter of can they do it when the playoff comes. Okay, coming out the NFC South again with a contender. Y'all can guess what I'm going to say. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Now, I'm not no Tom Brady bandwagon. Everybody know that, bro. I don't like Tom Brady at all. But I got to give credit when credit is due. And that roster was nasty and nice before he even got on the team. Now, by adding the best quarterback of all time, it automatically going to make them a contender and one of the best teams in the league. All right, now let's look at the facts. Tom Brady last year only played with one consistent receiver. He wasn't even in no deep threat. It was Julian Edelman carving the inside of the field. You know what I'm saying? And he still had over 4,000 passing yards. Now you put him with 2 studs on the outside, and you going to give him Gronk back? And they got O.J. Howard, who I know has not been playing up to his potential. But you put him with TB12, and he going to make something happen. You feel me? So you give Tom Brady all that when it comes to passing. And you trying to tell me he's not going to put on? You're not going to tell me he's not going to lead them to victories? Now you look at the defensive side. Their front 7 is the best front 7 in the league. Stamp. All facts right here. You know what I'm saying? All facts. They was the best run defense last year. Holding teams to the least amount of rushing yards and the least amount of yards per attempt. And then they had 47 sacks last year. So their front 7 is doing what they need to do. They stopping the run and they get into the quarterback. Now they D-backs, you know what I'm saying, that's a question mark. They not completely trash. They not the worst in the league, but they not up there with the best. They not. All right, I'm gonna be honest. They not up there with the best. But they have enough and they have what it takes to get the job done. And then when you look at a team last year, their record was 7-9, but 6 of those losses was by a touchdown or less. Now, I'm confident that with Tom Brady on that team, in them situations, they're gonna win at least 4 of those games. At least 4. So now their record is 11-5. So going into the year, man, you got a dominant defense, one of the best passing offenses with a new addition in Grunt. They bolstered their offensive line. The only question mark is their running back. But I have a feeling that they're going to answer that. They're going to answer it. But still, even if they don't, you got Tom Brady with all these weapons around him. He's going to make something happen. Their defense is already good. Brother contender. This is not no Tom Brady bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about Tom Brady. They was already nice last year. So take the name out of it. They were already nice last year. Their quarterback threw 30 interceptions last year. He had 30 touchdowns, but he had 30 interceptions nonetheless. Some of those interceptions was in key moments and lost them probably some of them games where they only lost by a touchdown or less. So you take the name off of Tom Brady. You just adding a better quarterback to that situation. It don't matter who the quarterback is. You add a better quarterback to the situation, and they're gonna do what it needs to be done to win games. They have what it takes to get the job done, bro. So the Buccaneers are a contender. I don't care what nobody say. You cannot tell me anything different. They're a contender. Okay, so the last team on this list, coming out the NFC, I want y'all to guess what I'm talking about. I want y'all to guess. Yes, I'm talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, all right? Now, a lot of people was blowing up my phone when I said they was going to go 14-2 this year. You know what I'm saying? I had people texting me, calling me, hitting me up on all social media platforms saying you don't make no sense. You talking from a fan's perspective. Now, let's talk about it. Let me tell you why we're going to be a contender. I'm about to give you all facts because all I do is give facts. Our roster did nothing but improve this offseason. We addressed every single issue that we had last year, all right? And let's start on wide receivers. Last year, damn near all our receivers got hurt. When we played in the playoffs, we was playing with a whole bunch of nobodies. Well, in the draft, what did we do? We added 3 wide receivers to the depth chart, all right? Our first pick in Jalen Reagor, before I even go and talk about him, I just want to say something. For everybody saying that he's trash, for saying that why did we draft him over Justin Jefferson, I just want y'all to shut up, all right? For real. Because y'all only know who Justin Jefferson is because he played with the best college team. Y'all only know him because of the team on his chest. It wasn't like y'all was watching his tape from 2 years ago, from this year. Y'all wasn't dissecting his game. You only know him because he played for LSU. You know what I'm saying? So before y'all go on and talk about Jalen Reagor, what I want you to do is cut on the tape. Cut on the tape and you're going to see how good he is, all right? My man is an explosive athlete, all right? Over the past 2 years, he generated an explosive play of 15-plus yards on 51% of his catches. That's the second highest rate in college football and nearly 20% points above the FBS average, all right? Now, with that athleticism, he's going to be able to get behind defenses. He's going to be making plays. He's going to fit right in for the Eagles. Right in for the Eagles, all right? His situation that he played in college was one of the worst situations, if not the worst situation, for a wide receiver coming to the draft, all right? He only saw a catchable target 61% of the time. That's 118th ranked out of 120 wideouts. So let me break that down to you. Most of the balls he was being thrown weren't even catchable, but he was still making plays. So imagine what's going to happen when he comes on and he comes to the team. All right, he's going to play for a quarterback that's a top 5 quarterback in the league. Proven, the stats prove what I'm saying. A top 5 quarterback in the league, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Imagine what's going to happen when we match them two up. He's going to make plays, way more plays than Nelson Aguilar did. I've been saying Nelson Aguilar was trash since we drafted him. I didn't even want him to be on the team. You know what I'm saying? So, bye-bye Nelson, give me Jalen Reagor. Come on now. Come on now. And then in the 5th round, we drafted somebody named John Hightower, who's a speed demon. Something that we needed, another explosive athlete for the offense. All right. There's more, though. You know what I'm saying? We drafted somebody that runs a 4.3, 5.40. You talk about speed. Now, I'm not saying he Tyreek Hill or anything, but when is speed ever a bad thing? All right. He could help on the offensive side, and he could help on the return game. You feel me? We still getting D-Jack back, and D-Jack is a legend. All right, I don't want to hear nothing about it. He's a legend. The stats prove everything. Put respect on his name. And Alshon coming back. All right, Alshon is due for a big year this year. One, he's going to have a whole bunch of speedster and explosive people around him. You know what I'm saying? So 101, 101 throw it up. He's getting that. He's getting it. Alshon is due for a big year this year. And then we still got 2 of the top 10 tight ends in the league. Zach Ertz is top 3 in the league, and Dallas Goedert is in the top 10. So you telling me with all these weapons on offense, we not gonna have one of the best offenses in the league? What? Are you kidding me? And we got Miles Sanders back there that's ready to do his thing. Ready to have 2,000 all-purpose yards. You feel me? Like, doing this thing in the running game, doing this thing catching the ball at the backfield. He's gonna be he's gonna surprise a lot of people this year. You feel me? So with all them new additions, everybody returning healthy, am I tripping to say we're gonna have one of the best offenses? Like, look at the stats. Alshon, when healthy, does his thing. D-Jack, when healthy, is the best deep threat, one of the best deep threat weapons in the league. One of the best deep threat weapons of all time. You add a whole bunch of explosive people in the draft. Come on now. Come on now. With the 2 tight ends to eat up the middle? Come on now, man. I'm not tripping. Y'all just mad because it's the Eagles that's going to have a dominant year. It's the Eagles that got all these new additions. That's why y'all really hating. Now let's go on defense. Cornerbacks was our biggest problem and has been our biggest problem for years. Even in the Super Bowl, I'm like, damn, bro, our cornerbacks is playing trash. So what did we do this year? We went out and got a top 10 cornerback in Darius Big Play Slay. Now, my bro texted me when this happened. He was like, bro, one corner not going to solve all the problems. Let me tell you why he was wrong. Having Slay lock up the opposing team #1 receiver, I can live with Vontae Maddox on the team's second best receiver. I can live with that. Because a lot of the times, we had receivers we had corners that shouldn't be #1 corners, guard #1 corners. You know what I'm saying? And it was a bad situation. Sometimes they held their own, but most times it was a bad situation. Now you telling me that we got a corner to lock up all these other teams' best? We got a corner that is top 10. He's not no average #1 corner. He's a top 10 corner. So he's going to dominate a lot of these teams' receivers. So I'm comfortable with putting Maddox on the #2. Maddox going to hold his own. Oh, yeah. And we went out and we got Nicole Roby-Coleman, who's one of the best slot corners in the league. So we got 2 new corners to help address the huge issue when it comes to our defense. And they're not scrubs either. These corners we got are proven corners in the league. So, like, am I tripping? Like, come on now. Yeah, we lost Malcolm Jenkins, but we're going to put Jalen Mills back there, all right? Mills is more than capable of being a dominant safety. He already has experience at safety 1. He's not afraid of contact. So, you know what I'm saying? You can check that off. And he know how to cover it. He played corner already in the NFL. So, yes, his coverage game is hard. And he had good performances at corner. So, he's going to be able to cover anybody at safety. And we got McLeod back there. Yo, like, are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? We got 2 new corners to help out our cornerback situation. You know what I'm saying? McLeod coming back, he's going to be healthy. And then we put Mills back there, he's going to be able to do his thing. We already had one of the best run defenses in the league. Now with all these new additions on our D-back run, you telling me that we're not going to have an above average pass defense? I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to be the best, but we damn sure going to be above average. So all that being said, with all these new additions, we're going to have one of the best offenses and one of the best defenses. Y'all saying I'm talking about my ass. I'm talking on my ass, but I would just give y'all straight facts. Straight facts. Come on now. Like, come on now. Like, y'all, I'm tired of people disrespecting the Eagles. Like, we're going to be a contender this year. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about last year's team that still had all the holes in our roster. All them holes that y'all said we had, we addressed. And then y'all talking about Carson Wentz always get hurt. So what did we do in the second round? Which was a question mark for me. Because to be honest, I thought we could get him in the third round. But I ain't complaining. We went out and we got a backup quarterback in Jalen Hurts. And I love Jalen Hurts. I was not mad that we drafted him. I was just mad that we got him in the second round. I'm glad that we got him. Because y'all saying, oh, Carson Wentz get hurts all the time. So now we got a backup quarterback. And with this offense that is just about making big plays, he going to be able to do his thing. And he got the ability to make plays on the run with his feet. Come on now. Come on now. When he running the ball, he looking like baby Cam Newton. He not trying to juke. He trying to run you over. You feel me? Like, yo, can y'all put respect on the Eagles' name? All the things, all the holes y'all said we had, they're not there no more. Our roster is complete. So please, if you don't believe me, go look at it. Go look at it. We have one of the best rosters coming into the year. Of course we're going to be a contender. Come on now. Y'all sleeping for real. Thank you all for listening to my podcast today. If you have any questions or you want to talk about what I discussed in this podcast, you can reach me at Instagram and Twitter at sportsw_Chris. sportsw_Chris. Thank you all for listening and stay tuned for future episodes. Peace!